that was a surprise. It doesn't trail off, does it? It just dead stops.
yeah. Just bang. There you go. In your face.
So how
But
the
that's
hell's
true.
everyone?
There we go.
How are we doing? I see. We have Aaron. Hello, Aaron C. And thank you so much. What a kind words. I like to think so, but you know what happened? What happened to Caesar when he thought he was great? So we thank you, but thank you very much. Now, guys, we have a legend on the show tonight. Now, I can't emphasize this enough. People are watching. You know what's it called? What's that place called out in the desert where they're catching all these objects? Skinwalker Ranch. People watching Skinwalker Ranch. There ain't nothing there. I'm not saying there ain't nothing there. Sorry, but what they catch in the whole season of what's going down, yeah, at Skinwalker Ranch. This man catches in a week. In a week, this guy is catching UFOs flying over his properties on a daily basis, and I think it's time that we really get to know who this guy is. But are you wondering who the hell he is? Well, wonder no more. I give you the man, the myth, the living legend that is John Bell.
Who are you talking about, man? Who are you talking about?
I was talking about John Bell Sr.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that. Of course, I'm talking about you, man. So, before we start this, though, as you know, I always like, just in case you guys don't know or don't realize how we met and how we got started talking. It started with a video, one video, and John got in contact with me and said, "Hey, that's me, man." So, guys, I'm going to show you the video while we. If I can do this right.
You got it, man. You got it.
Here we go. So this is the video that got us here at the moment.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. What's going on here? Something doesn't add up. Just a minute. Time out. This ain't quite right.
Okay, guys, just in case any of you were wondering what that was at the beginning, it's because there's no map, and we'll get into that after this footage. And I came across this last night, and I just wanted to show this to you guys. So let's have a look at the footage, and then we'll have a real quick chat afterwards.
Well, this is it. This is the one I've been looking for right here. It's actually facet shaped. And it is directly above. Very close. It's right directly above me now. Extremely bright. I'm flashing to it, but doesn't seem to be responding. And I'm glad they finally got down low. Give it a little zoom, not that it really needs it, but it's actually the shape of a diamond. It's faceted. It's not round. This one isn't anyway. Northeast now. Well, that's just really, really pretty. Yeah.
Yep. Black and white night vision.
There you go. Night vision. You heard that?
Well, you come this far, you might as well land in the yard. Shoot.
It was still white. There was no color in it, really. A little bit of blue in the middle.
No worries.
Starting to kind of pulse now.
Oops. Hello.
Definitely moving away, which is a shame, but oh well. It's very low. It's behind the tree here. It is.
I came across this post last night on Facebook while I was looking for footage, and I thought, wow, this is really good. Now, according to what was posted on Facebook, this was sighted over in Florida. That's the location, just Florida. And this was caught on May the 20th, 2023. Now, let's just look at the footage. Now, this is a very large object. Now, the witness did say that this was diamond shaped, but this is large. Now, according to the Facebook post, the witness stated that this was approximately 1,000 feet in the air above him. And he reckons it was the size of a bus. So that is a pretty large object giving off this much light. And add to the fact of the quietness of the night. I mean, you listening to the footage and you can hear when it goes quiet, the crickets. So this large object isn't making a sound. You're not hearing no buzz from any rotors that could be a drone, nothing that could be a helicopter, a plane moving this slow, and no nav lights. Guys, this is incredible. And one thing I want to say, if you who filmed this ever sees this video, please email me. My email is in the description box, and I'd love to do a follow-up and just know the real story behind this, or the proper story behind this. So guys, what do you make of this? As always, stay blessed and keep safe.
It's a satellite.
Yeah, satellite that big.
Yeah, I'll say.
Oh, my number one favorite answer of all time is that's the International Space Station. And my response was, well, if it is, then we can resupply the damn thing. You don't need a rocket, launch to go put the supplies up. Just bungee cord and a rope. They just come by the yard. I'll just put some ramen noodles on.
Yeah. Get your ladders out. Honestly, I mean, you can honestly say, actually, looking at the video, John, you can see a satellite. Well, I've seen plenty of satellites in the sky moving, going across, which is very, very high up. But you can see the orb is extremely bright. And what did you say? It was 1,000 feet up? Did you?
Yeah, it was really big. It wasn't an orb though. It's actual craft. I initially seen it. It was coming up from the south to the north, and
UFO.
I thought it was a landing light on an airplane, and there was another airplane that was headed south, and they were headed next to each other, like right head on. And I heard the little plane pull its throttle back, and about that time, the thing started turning, and I was like, "Well, that's a good thing, because last thing I want to capture is two planes colliding out here on the highway, So now I came over, and when it got close enough, I was like, "Oh my God, that is not landing lights." And the rest is history. That video is pretty long. I was letting the scope warm up because it came out of the air conditioning in the house, and it was quite different change in temperature from the yard to the living room. So I was letting it run and warm up, and I was like, "Oh my God!" It was like 8:30, 8:35, 8:40. It wasn't very dark at the time when it came over. But it took it quite a while. The video was quite long for the object to come across, and go above me, and then it initially headed northeast, and it went behind that tree, and then you can see it just disappears. So,
okay.
Brian's asking, could that be a radioactive ball of mosquitoes?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's joking though.
Yeah, we got a thing for that. It would be a shotgun. We wouldn't worry about the ray. We just come out there with double aught buck and start shooting it till it goes away.
And believe me, that's truth. That's truth. But
I mean, to be honest, I was gonna say, I mean, you could kind of rule out bugs, because I've shot bugs in the garden before, especially at night. I'm not saying it got infrared, but it's got such a jagged move when it comes to any sort of fly. And what you've captured, John, is very smooth, and it just glides and turns, which is rolling out a bug 100%.
Yeah.
This is
well, the crazy thing about it, if you look at the video and you slow it down, the majority of the video I've already slowed down to 20%, and nobody really even realizes that I've slowed it down to where you can actually see it. But the object is making complete stops. There's one video I've got. It stops 8 times in less than 20 seconds. I mean, it's crazy. And then the turns it's doing 90-degree turns, and then smooth radius, and then goes out of sight and shoots up into the clouds. It's like, oh yeah, that's got to be mosquito for real.
I don't think a mosquito would kind of pick up on that. Do you think a mosquito would pick up on that? It must be like so tiny. I mean, I
can't pick them up. I can't pick up any small insects or critters or anything like that without the infrared on. It just doesn't show up. And I can get a bat, a normal night vision. I can pick up a bat, a bird, even a large moth, if it's right in front of the lens, but it looks like a bird, it looks like a bat, it looks like a moth, it doesn't look like a 2-foot wide orb that's flashing you in the face, dancing all over the place. And,
what did it look like from the naked eye?
Well, the naked eye, if you can register it, it is very much translucent. I've seen it once when it was dark, and it was like shaded out. But again, it's moving so fast, your regular vision would have a hard time trying to follow it. I try to get the damn thing to come over and sit down for a while. It won't cooperate. It just won't do it. It'll slow down and it'll hang out a little bit, but ultimately it's always moving. It's never really stationary at all.
John, Black Dot wants to know, what was the estimated size of that object?
That object was the size of a school bus, at least, maybe a little bit more.
See, there's a lot of facets that we're going to get into about what's going on over it. But one thing that I did want to point out is that, John, yourself, you're not just an ordinary civilian, are you? You have Air Force backgrounds. Could you tell us what that is? Yeah,
I was in the Air Force back in the late 80s, and I was stationed at a nuclear base in Blytheville, Arkansas. We had B-52s and KC-135s, and I was crew chief on one of the KC-135s. So I was actually on flying status. It was a lot of fun. That's how I got to Great Britain a few times. I got sent over there to TDY. So I went to Meldon Hall, Fairford, went to Germany. I've been all over the dang place. And this is before I was even 21, 22 years old. I'd already seen the world, and I'm like, after I got out, I was kind of bored. I was like, well, shit, it's a big world, but I've already seen half of it, You
got the other half to see.
And then nowadays, you look at the news and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, I guess I went there at the right time because I'm not going back.
John, can I ask this question? When did it all start for you? When did it all began, seeing these orbs? I mean, was you a skeptic first of all throughout your military career, and then eventually you?
Well, I never seen anything I couldn't explain when I was active duty. I just, we seen aircraft all the time. We worked on them. We seen them fly. I never really even entertained going out in the parking lot, looking up at the sky and saying, I wonder if I could see a UFO tonight. It just never crossed your mind.
Sure. Yeah.
Back then, I was young anyway, and you didn't think about UFOs. You were thinking about, what about that hot brunette over there or that blonde? You know, oh yeah, yeah, baby.
We all been there. We all been there.
Oh, I was a bad boy. I'll tell you what.
oh dear, John. You do know we're syndicated. You do know the show's syndicated.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm still a bad boy.
It's interesting, like how you said that you were stationed at nuclear facilities, because there is a correlation that's being talked about at the moment with nuclears and the UFOs. So was there any stories there? Or did you hear any about it?
No, we didn't. As far as I know, there was nothing out of the ordinary that ever happened at the base. There was one incident, and I know who was involved in it. I really can't talk about it, but I can pretty much tell you though that we've been having our own unmanned little vehicles that there's nobody in them. You know what they look like, and we've had those for years. And they can pretend that we haven't had our own little saucers flying around, but they're full of it. So, yep, I witnessed two when I moved down there. That was probably 200 foot off the deck, not a noise. I was sitting at the neighbor's fire. They just cleared the property off, and they were burning a bunch of stumps and stuff. We were all like sitting outside like a campfire, you know, and just happened to look up, and it was a full moon, and you could see both of these, and they were solid blank. They were the size of a Honda Civic, no noise at all, and they went to the south, and they were in formation. I said, that's ours right there. That's the same thing. And when I was probably,
and these were saucer-shaped vehicles.
Oh, they were saucers. Yeah, yeah, both of them were saucers. And,
but you're 100%.
I've never seen them. I've never seen them since, though.
You're 100% certain these are our tech.
Yeah, they had the stealth paint on. They wasn't shiny or silver or anything. They were jet black. And you know who's big into the stealth black paint? That's us. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they were.
Was there any descriptions on the crap? Was there any descriptions you can make out? Any like?
It's just a typical flying saucer that you would see. It was just it was small and it was black, and there were two of them. They were in formation though. One of them was staggered back from the other one.
When you say
they were probably moving 500, 600 miles an hour, something like that. Not that fast, you know, not real fast, but not a noise. They didn't make a sound.
And what capabilities did they have?
Oh, I'd have no idea. I'm sure the same as everything else, but I'm pretty sure they were unmanned, probably nuclear powered. If you want to know the truth about it, that would be my guess on it.
That's quite interesting because I don't want to divert the subject, but you're looking into German flying saucers, Foo Fighters that were spotted during the sky. A theory that these were probes that the Germans had created. Unmanned probes were designed to actually take down aircraft. And that's interesting whether or not the scientists were involved with that, brought them over to America. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the technology is so advanced now that they don't need these, you know, propeller drones that we've got today. That the military shows us, but I reckon there's something way far advanced that they're not showing us at all.
It's so funny because I thought, well, hell, it could be our stuff. Our technology is what I'm filming all the time, and then I thought about it, and you have to pull out your common sense ruler there. You have to say, okay, either that's ours or it's somebody else's. But if it's ours, how many millions of dollars would they spend trying to make sure this redneck in Florida gets them on film? You would not go through all that trouble to make sure you were recorded. And the maneuvers I've seen, you know, it's obvious the technology is so advanced they can't be feeling the G-force of their inertia inside the craft, or they would be spamming the can. You know, I mean, literally, they'd be soup. They open up the hatch and they pour out, you know, on the ground because there's nothing left of them. So obviously, those rules don't apply. They've got to have some kind of secondary field around them that cancels out any of the gravity or any of the effects of that. And even the ones that we have, they got to cancel it out. And I don't think it's a.
I was going to say, John, with the black sort of coating it's got on these craft, is that
that's
done
for radar?
So
that would be for radar.
Is that also done to actually so humans can't see the craft itself? Is that some sort of technology with it?
No, I think that's just that's for the radar to absorb it. It's like on a stealth plane. You know, the radar hits it, and that paint helps hide the size of it. You know, it might have the signature of a bird going down, you know, down the coastline or something, instead of having the signature of an airplane.
Brian's got another question, and he's being serious this time though. He wanted to know: was the object that we looked at first?
Yeah, it was bright enough. Yeah, you could definitely see it. How in the hell people didn't pull off the road and report this thing, I do not know. But I didn't hear a peep in the news, a peep from nobody about it. And it wasn't just meant for me to see. I mean, it was meant for everybody to see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And do you believe that it's a spiritual?
No.
Or is it spiritual if you believe in the?
No, it's not spiritual. It was just technology. I mean, it could be Jesus and apostles in there, but how you gonna know that unless they park out there on the side of the yard and get out and say, "Hey, John, you've been a bad boy." So yeah, I'm thinking it's just all pure technology is all it is.
But it's kind of ramped up with you because they've hit your truck.
Yeah, that was a demonstration though. I don't think it was a mistake. I don't think it was like another Roswell, because the first thing I thought was, oh my God, I've got Roswell in the yard. I got to get my metal detector. I got to find the pieces of it. I wonder if there's little big 4-inch guys out here in the freaking yard. You know, I mean, you don't know what you're going to find. And I dug up every pop top, battery, piece of tin can, piece of spark plug, lawnmower spring. It was all in the yard. I mean, since the 60s, and there was nothing there. And I'm like, well, that's just crazy. And then I couldn't even find a dent in it, and I couldn't figure out why it didn't dent the truck. Anything that hits a 17,000-pound truck that hard and shakes it with you on it has got to leave a dent. There's no dent in the truck, not even a mark. And I didn't even know I had it on video. I thought, you know, man, that's crazy. And when I figured out I had it on video, it got even more crazy. And then I could see it, and I was like, oh shit, that's what it was.
If you guys are wondering what we were talking about here, he did catch it on video, and you can hear this thing hit his truck.
Yeah, it hits quite hard.
It's a big, thick truck. So here, hey, let's check this out. You hear that?
And it shook the hell out of the truck. I thought the dogs had ran into the truck. I really did.
But
God.
And then the thing I realized is the dogs ain't able to shake the truck. I couldn't even shake it when I got off. I was kicking at it and everything. I couldn't move it. Acorn. Yeah, right. I'm in Florida. We don't have acorns in the yard. Sorry.
Whereabouts did it hit, John? On the car? Was it on the side?
Right on the side of the bed. It's a military troop transport truck is what it is, and I bought it for a song and a dance, and it didn't run. We got it running. I drove that sucker home and got it in the gate, and then it died, and it's sat there ever since. And that's what I film off of, because it doesn't move. It's so heavy.
It's definitely well armed.
So that would be first contact. But I'm going to pause this here. And what is more interesting? I mean, it's interesting enough that the thing hit your truck. But what gets more interesting, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but at the beginning, just before it hits the truck, you can hear it powering up. Now, I'm gonna play this again. Now, guys on the panel, just let's listen to this noise that this thing makes, because you can hear this. Right, so let me take this back to the beginning. All right, you ready? Now listen closely. You'll hear it power up just before it hits the truck. That was it there. That was the noise there, wasn't it?
Play again?
I don't know. I never noticed it before you said something.
Here, listen. We'll play it from here. Did you hear the noise?
Yeah, like the
it could have been. It could have been my chair squeaking though. I got a recliner. I sit on. I do it right, man. I look up. I just lay back at the start.
John, come on, man.
Screw that sitting there looking up, trying to hold the stuff up, man. I just lay down on my back on that recliner and film away.
That's on the truck, yeah?
Oh yeah, on the bed of the truck. So I'm up high enough. It keeps me out of the majority of the mosquitoes because the truck is high enough. But yeah. No, that's not an energy weapon.
Okay, well, there you go. I stand corrected. That could have been his chair.
Yeah,
but that could also have been the object making a noise. But John thinks it's more about.
I have been known to pass gas. I mean, I don't edit it out. I just leave it on there, you know. Dorothy's a good cook, man. You never know if it's Taco Tuesday or what it is, but it's always good.
Oh, dear.
Play one more time here, then. Play one more time. Go back.
Well, the noise. You want to hear the noise?
Yeah. I want to hear the noise again. Yeah.
And the massive hit it gave it. Here we go.
Yeah, you didn't save the slow down frame? I got it slowed down in that video too.
I hope one of them didn't run into the truck.
It sounded like it was from a distance.
And that's a lot of them.
What, the noise or the hit?
No, the noise.
It's just, to me, then it could be just perfect timing. The noise came, and then after the noise, the hit.
Yeah, but it would be good to say that, but it shook the truck. If it didn't shake the truck, then yeah, I could say, well, you know, that noise, what the hell was that? Really, it shouldn't have been able to shake the truck. Nothing to shake the truck. I can probably take my big truck and hit the other truck with it, and it probably still wouldn't shake the damn thing.
That's straight overhead.
Just for you, Brian will do that. Brian wants to hear it a little bit slowed down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. It should be slowed down on the video. I put it up twice, two different ways.
I'll do it here. Anything for you guys, man. Anything for you guys. I'll tell you what, we'll slow it down there.
Cool.
Wow.
Sounds like a cat's crying there, don't it? Meow.
Meow.
Hell of a bang, isn't it?
That's what she said.
Hey, that's my line. That's my line.
Yeah, a friend of mine had mentioned wanting to try to capture it. Like the day before, we had this little conversation. He was like, "Oh yeah, we can capture that thing. We'll electrify it. You know, do an EMP in the yard, and we'll throw a net on it. You know, and man, we'll be like rich and do shaving commercials and stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, you shouldn't mess with that orb. I mean, it could probably just kill both of us right there. I think it'd be best to leave it alone." And it was like the very next night, boom. So I think it was like a demonstration, like, don't mess with me, because if you do, I'm going to hurt you, or I can hurt you.
Have you got any footage of any communication with this object? With
this is we're gonna go. That's a different thing, because we're gonna go talk about that, because there's nothing. John, have you ever caught any odd flashes in the sky?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bunch of weird flashes in the sky.
John Nelson, hello, John Nelson, has got a question for you. He says, "Hi everybody, John. Did you check the surrounding ground area around the truck?"
Yeah, we dug it all up. And I wanted that little piece of that flying bubble, whatever the hell you want to call it.
and speaking of now, John, you've had people come to how would you say it, to verify what you're catching?
Yeah, it's not really verification, but I mean, I had a couple of friends of mine that wanted to leap off the damn truck. They were getting really uncomfortable because it was coming. I mean, they were coming low and coming slow, and it's like, okay, here it comes.
But so you were telling me, because I'm trying to get to the guy that stayed on your property. Yeah. You have to understand, John's property isn't like little. You have quite a, well, I'm not going to say quite a big, but it's big in comparisons to us, about where we live in England. You probably have your property is probably the size of the area that I live in, and we've got like a few houses on there and everything. But on your property, you got a caravan, and are you allowed to say the guy's name, or where can you?
Yeah, I'll say it. I don't care. He's doing his own thing. He's not posting any more videos, as far as I can tell. He's been on the History Channel ever since the beginning of the History Channel, I think. And probably the last show he was on was 4 years ago, something like that. And
Nick, when he tells us the name, could you find a picture of this? See if we can find a picture of him. So, because
you can look him up. You can look him up on YouTube. He's still got a profile on there.
Well, what it is, John, is sometimes you can call a name, you can say somebody's name, and they'll say okay, but they don't really know who he is until they see the face, and then they'll say, I know who that cat is.
Yeah.
Can you say his name?
Yeah. Let me hold on. I got a second phone here. I'll send you a link to his profile and stuff. That way you're not looking for it and all that stuff, because he's already on my stuff. So
I'll try and grab a picture of him, because I just want a picture. So
hang on, I got hidden. Is this it? Can you see that? Is that him?
I don't see anything.
Is that him?
No, that's Abby Loeb.
Is that Abby Loeb?
Yeah, that's Abby.
Just keep the Abby Loeb.
Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Follow.
Because we'll be just tell us the name, and because Nick can just grab it.
Look up Wilbur Allen. You can probably
Allen.
Google it, and it'll show up in the Google. But yeah, Dorothy said you wouldn't like her picture of
it.
What's his name again?
Wilbur Allen.
Wilbur.
Yeah.
No jokes about the name Wilbur. Wasn't that Mr. Ed's horse?
Wilbur.
You can't hear me.
There you go. So don't pull up Mr. Ed. No, that was the guy who owned it. That was the guy who owned the horse. Because obviously the horse was Mr. Ed.
Yeah, the horse is Mr. Ed. I don't know what the guy's the owner's name.
Wilbur? Wasn't it Wilbur? Now you're gonna make me have to look that up. Anybody in the chat know that?
Did you look up? Did you find him yet?
Wilbur, is he an ugly guy?
Let's put the picture up and see.
I'm not exactly gay, so I don't know how to.
He's definitely.
I don't know how to answer that question because I'm not attracted to the male.
Oh, hold on. There we are. Here we are. I think I found it.
I'm kind of straight, so.
Bring this up. Oh, I could guess. Let's have a look. Right.
Hey, Mr. Ed was a good program.
Is that him?
Nope.
No.
No. Just bring up random people. Okay, let's get rid of him. I put Wilbur Allen and yeah.
Look at Wilbur Allen History Channel. It'll pop right up. Or Wilbur Allen UFOs. It'll pop up.
It's gonna see now. All these people now, I can see they're getting them lawyers ready. In an underbelly, put me up, man.
Underbelly made me do it.
Oh, I think this is it. I think I got it. Hold on, boys. I think I got it. Yeah, let's bring this up. Is that it?
Anyway, I'll just tell you guys a story.
Is that it?
Anyway, I was trying to find out the information on these fast. No.
Yes.
That's a real old picture. Hell, I didn't even recognize it. So anyway, I'm trying to find out what these fast objects are that I'm looking at. And I was Googling my cousin, who's Wilburn, not Wilbur. And this guy popped up and he had videos and I'm like, hey, there's the UFOs going by. Yeah, that's it right there. And anyway, I contacted him on YouTube, and he actually responded back. He was gracious enough to respond back, and then we had some other conversations. And COVID-19. I mean, that stuff put a lot of people out of work, and bad, just bad for everybody to be sitting at home on lockdown. And of course, the movie industry, they quit filming when the COVID-19 hit. So we figured out he wasn't doing any good where he was at. So I'm like, well, come on down here. Get back on your feet, and we'll do some filming UFOs. I've really got UFOs here. And the second day he was here, that spear that's in that big video, the one that Underbelly showed, the first one, was over the house, and it was hilarious because it was about that high up, and I'm fighting to get out the door to film this thing, thinking the guy's going to help me film. I'm like, shit, second day he's here. What kind of luck is that, man? We're gonna get this thing filmed, and we're gonna do a documentary, and we're gonna do this and do that. Man, this is gonna take off, and it'd be great, I turn around and look, and he is absolutely gone. And I'm like, honey, where'd Wilbur go? Oh, he ran in the house and locked the door. I'm like, what the hell? And then find out he was terrified, absolutely terrified.
He was shaking, thought I was an alien coming in for him.
So anyway, make a long story short, I got it on video a little bit, but nothing like as close as I wanted to. And it was like, I got it. I made a video of it. I was running film all the way out the door, and I couldn't get the puppies we rescued off of my feet. They wouldn't get off. They'd escape. And I had to climb up on the tailgate of the truck, and I'm still trying to get away from the puppies and trying to film. And the time I do, the UFO is way the hell down there, and I could just barely see it over the trees. And he is gone. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And this is a guy.
Can't make this up now. The guy's filmed UFOs for 22 years, I think he said.
And he goes to John Bell's property.
Yeah, he must have thought that I was kidding when I said I really got UFOs here. So,
but
I don't know.
This guy
he tells abduction stories. So you kind of you feel sorry for the guy a little bit because he's genuinely afraid. You know, I mean, I ain't scared. I'm like, come on down.
Yeah. But then also, tell me if I can't say this or say I don't want to talk about it, but you've also got people from the Galileo Project.
Yeah, I had some of them guys reached out to me in the beginning and asked me if I needed any equipment, what I needed. And I'm like, okay, well, what I need is I need somebody to examine this video. It's in high definition digital. I need somebody to really, really look at it and break it down and get a really detailed close up on it that knows what the hell they're doing and go from there. If you want to come down, whatever you want to do. And the guy you showed at the first, he runs that. So I can tell you now that he is not interested. He does not care. He wants to be the one that I guess discovers the UFOs. Well, he's too late. The damn caveman discovered them years ago. You know, they drew them on a cave wall. You know, he's too late. But if you want some real documentation, some real proof, you don't got to go dredge the ocean. All you got to do is go stand in the back of my truck in my yard out here at 8 o'clock, and you'll see all you want to see. And then you'll be so excited, there'll be 10 more people come.
Well, the only difference is how much money is he getting to dredge the ocean? Was it about 13 million he got?
It was a lot of multi-millions he got as a grant to do that. And so, mine doesn't cost anything. Mine's free.
That's what I'm trying to say. There's no, he can't put a price tag on going over, nope. You know, probably get a maybe 10 grand tops.
Yep.
But he's not going to get 13 million because he can't say, look, I need nets to drag the ocean to find these UFOs, these bits of UFOs.
Yeah, I have to say I did dig up part of the yard looking for UFOs, but that's as far as it went. Only because it hit the damn truck. I just knew it was in the yard. I'm like, God, it hits so hard. It's got to be little pieces of guys all over the place, you know. There's nothing there, nothing at all. It was just a demonstration. And yeah, I have respect for that little orb. I just hope it never goes to sleep at a wheel or has too much to drink or anything. I mean, that damn thing would knock me off the truck.
And this is why the title of it is "They Don't Want You to Know About John Bell," yeah. Because there are very influential people in. I don't want to use the word ufology.
Yep. Well, you can use it. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Well, I don't find it because these people they wear a certain label that's self-made up. You know what I mean? I can call myself that, but I'm not, and I have never said that. But the thing is, the people with clout know about John Bell, know about what he's catching, what you're catching, and they're not talking about it. No,
there's no way to, you can't debunk it. I mean, you really can't debunk it. If you watch any of the videos at all, there's one guy, Chris Lido. Oh
God, that guy's a clown.
The moment he called, I recorded a UFO coming into the atmosphere, straightening out, turning, using its bottom to break with, and then shooting straight out into the atmosphere into space again. All recorded in slow motion. And the guy says, all I see is a bug.
Yeah. Pay him no
mind. My God. I could not believe he said that. And he's got enough followers where that did enough damage to me that I blocked and seared any connection to that guy whatsoever. Don't want nothing to do with any of his shows or nothing. And every time I see anything come out, I either don't watch it or I'll blacklist it. I just fix it where I can't even see the guy. It's just, for him to say something like that to me is just crazy.
If I was in your position, I would remind his viewers that he doubled down on a flashlight. He showed a video of a flashlight telling people it was a UFO. When people, when his own viewers, his loyal viewers, were sending him links saying, "Look,
that's crazy.
This is the flashlight. This is the flash, and it's the flashlight. And then he went and did another video telling everybody that his viewers that told him it was a flashlight were stupid because he knows. I saw a Tic Tac once. You know, I would have just reminded his viewers about that and just say, look, this is the guy who said a flashlight was a UFO.
Well, you know, the thing about me is I got my aircraft's maintenance license for power plant and airframe. I could work on any helicopter, any aircraft in the whole world. I can identify probably 95% of the planes and the aircraft in the whole world. I can say, that's this, that's that. Little plane, there's a Piper Cub going here, there's a little Cessna over there. You know, I can do that because I worked on them.
That's what I wanted the people
But
to do.
I went into this, I took a scientific approach. I might not have been an A++ student in English and grammar and all that stuff, but when it came to science, I was 100%. I didn't even have to study. I soaked up all the science I could. So every time I do this, I'm scientific about it as much as I can. I use the same location, the same night vision. I download it on the same phone. I look at it with the same, what do you call it? The graphics program where you can shorten the videos and slow them down and stuff. I got one program I use for that, and that's it. And it's all the same across the board, and it's the same person videoing it. I'm not one guy with 100 other people's video. I'm one guy with all my videos, and it's just amazing to me to see that they've lost their common sense. And I looked at it the other way, and I think it's more than that. I think it's they're afraid they're not going to get their grant to go dig or whatever they're going to do. So, hey, send me $50. I'll be happy. $50 would be great.
Have you still got that picture of Avi Loeb?
Yeah.
Because now we're going to go back to the man, because like you said, Avi Loeb knows of your stuff.
Yeah, he was handed my stuff, and my stuff was in that. It was in that meeting, the science meeting at the museum up there too, the history building or whatever it was. And the joke was that one afternoon that I had more videos than the Skinwalker Ranch did the whole damn season. That was the joke.
Yeah, hey, I've been saying it since we first had a live show.
And you know, I get a number of 3 flybys that will come by, and I mean it'll happen so fast, so quick, in the same location that I'm looking at, and how they were timing it up. It took me 2 years to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out at first, and I said, well, they must have a chip in my head, or it's got to be something, or maybe their brains are so big they can read my mind, telepathy. And then I was like, well, maybe they're time travelers and they see in time where I'm looking at. And I was like, well, that's just crazy. And then finally I realized that my scope is changing its functions. It's lightening up and darkening up on its own to maximize the clear image that I'm recording. So if the image I'm recording is too dark, it'll lighten it up. If it's too light, it'll darken it up. And then here comes a UFO out of the atmosphere into our atmosphere, makes a turn and goes right back out into space again in a span of 1/10 of a second. And it's turning while it's doing it. And I spent so much time trying to figure out how they were doing that. And then when I noticed the scope was flickering and it was changing color inside on my viewer, and the modes were changing by itself, and I wasn't messing with it, I realized they're able to hack into that scope. And that's how they deal with it. They can see where I'm looking at because they're hacked into the damn thing. And I was like, okay, now I understand it. Now that would make sense how they would know where to fly into the atmosphere if they wanted to be videoed or recorded. That's how they know where to do it at. And
so that's an interesting point now, because now it's kind of like on the realm that they want to be seen by you.
Yeah, they do. They've always wanted to be seen by me because they go out of their way to make sure I capture them. And if I ignore them or I'm not paying attention to the sky, the next thing I know, I'm sitting there on the back of the truck and I get lit up by a light source coming out of space that just lights up the whole area. And it'll be a flash brighter than lightning. I've captured it now. I've captured it several times on the video. And what they're basically doing is, hey, dummy, why don't you look over here? And I'll look over there, and then they're here to come, whoosh. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I mean, I'm sure they got things to do too. You know, they're on a schedule like, hey, we got to be at Jupiter at 3 o'clock, you know, Joe.
John, do you live like on a ley line or anything like that?
No, I don't. I looked it up. Nah, there's no ley line here.
Okay. There's no like test facilities? I mean, I'm just trying to think where this technology comes from. Is there anything near you can pinpoint or give away your location or anything like that?
Well,
we got there's Space Force on the other coast, which is a whole different thing. And then really I'm live away from everything else. And most of the activity happens above the house, but it's a little bit to the right and to the north as you look up. I wish it was in the horizon. It wouldn't hurt so much to hold the night vision up, but I literally got to lay on my back pretty good straight up and down to see most of the stuff.
Do you have spy cameras? Tony's asking, have you ever thought of getting spy cameras?
Nah, I don't need that. We got dogs. We got dogs and gunpowder, mate. Yeah, if the dogs don't get you, the old lady will. One or the other.
Oh dear. I'll take my chances with the dogs.
Yeah, she's a pretty good dog.
I'm just playing Mrs. Bell. I'm just playing. Right. But you did mention Space Force.
Yeah, that's on the other coast. I can see the Elon Musk launches. I can see the rocket launches. I can see the satellite train coming across. The last two they launched together, I can tell you this, that they were too low, much too slow, and much too bright, and they had to be powered by something to keep them falling out of orbit. I filmed both of them and didn't post it online. I should have posted it, but I didn't. But I did record it, though. And the only reason I didn't record it is like every UFO that you see in the sky, oh, that's a satellite. There's already enough of that shit going around. You don't need any more of it, you know? And the thing about it is, after the train goes by for a while, you don't see the train again. It disappears. It either they spread out the satellites or they go up out of sight. So I'm kind of how do you want to say, with Space Force being on the other coast, do you think these things are taking an interest in that? And your property happens to be in some sort of I think it's the other way around. I think it's the other way around. I think they're taking interest in these, and I don't know if you looked at the one video in particular, you can see the small plane, the small jet is aiming for the UFO. I mean, he's aiming for it, and the UFO goes up, straight up, keeps gaining altitude, then disappears right above. And I filmed that about 2 weeks ago. And there's another airplane that when the UFOs come around, the large spheres especially, it's just, you see this one little airplane show up with a pod underneath the wing, and it looks stupid because this pod looks like it's a World War II gas tank mounted to the side of this plane, and it's chasing after the orbs. And that's been going on for 2 years now. I've documented it.
And see, now this is the thing now, because then I'm going to show this video, because I found that quite interesting when we were talking. I kept on badgering you about this infrared beam, because they're scanning. Is it also your property that they're scanning with infrared?
Yeah, I think my property in the beginning, I think they probably came over trying to scare me or just check me out. But I think since then, it's because the UFOs are over the yard or in line with the yard. They come by the yard when they're coming through, and by then it's too late. Their UFOs are already gone. I have seen the air traffic be stopped for 20 minutes while the UFOs go by.
Great big
I've seen that multiple times. But I'll say this: the last batch of big UFOs that I filmed, they do not give a damn if there's airplane in the air. They don't care, and they can get out of the way. They could disappear in just a second. So I filmed them doing it to the end. I don't just capture it and there it is. I mean, I got it. I got the UFO until it's cloaked out and it's gone. So I do that all the time.
Hey, well, I've got the video up of the helicopter with the infrared. Now,
Yeah.
So we'll have a look, and I think this is an interesting thing to talk about. This one.
You can't see the beam or you can't see the infrared on the helicopter because it's invisible. But because I'm using night vision, it shows up what they're doing. So I can actually tell, if they're doing it or not. But
a great big low helicopter.
Anyway, I'll be back in a second.
Running a spotlight.
Okay.
This helicopter's running infrared. You can't see the beam with your eyes. It's infrared spot beam. He is noisy as shit too. Hear that large orb came right over these trees here, rear low. That happened probably 5 minutes ago.
So, and as we talked about, this has been going on for 2 years. John has said now that these helicopters have been flying over with the infrared, and we were discussing this, and I was asking John, is there a legitimate reason why they would be using infrared?
Well, if we can't see him, if John can't see him through the naked eye, in some cases that he said he can't see it, maybe they need this sort of technology to. I don't know. Really, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Really, I mean, what's the clearest footage you've got hidden in what John has sent you?
I can't go through it, mate.
And there's thousands. I know there's thousands.
It's all lined up.
Yeah.
But if you guys in the chat want to take a look at John's stuff, the links to his YouTube channel is there, and also the links to his Twitter or X is there as well. But this is what we were asking about, the legitimate reason, not like what we're speculating, but what would be a legitimate reason for a helicopter to be using infrared?
Yeah, they would be using. They'd be using the FLIR now. If you were looking for criminals,
that's what
what
we were talking about. But still, we couldn't come up with a legitimate reason for them to be using infrared.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. But what they're using, wasn't it for mapping? They were using
they'd be using lasers to map now.
And that's what it was. The green beams were lasers. I have seen that video.
Yeah. This helicopter wasn't scanning, but it's interesting because you said maybe the UFOs are taking interest in the Space Force and stuff. I think it's the other way around. I don't think the aliens want anything to do with them. That's kind of what I think. That's why they're chasing them around. So I don't have to chase. They come in the yard.
And see, that was what. See, this is why I didn't want to have the conversation that we had until the show, because
you'd be fine.
I asked no, But the thing is, I asked all my questions, and I kept on saying, John, we're giving it away for free. This is the stuff that we'd want to hear, you know.
Well, I'm not charging anywhere. You charging? I ain't charging anything.
I'm not charging, but then it's like you know how I stay, Nick. I don't like things rehearsed. I like it.
Oh, I know. We keep it real.
But he has a prepaid trip here. He just has to get here first.
Yeah, you need to go get on a plane. Come over here. We'll pick you up at the airport. Take you out on the boat, take you to go eat, and then you could sit out there in the yard and go, holy crap, I didn't know you had UFOs here, and jump off the truck and run across the yard and lock the door.
I think I'd have to take a trip. I think I'd have to take a trip to Georgia first.
And I'll be filming the whole damn thing. I'll be like, here's Underbelly. Look at him run, man. I didn't think he could move that fast. Look at that.
I ain't running.
He's a blur. He's moving so fast.
I am not running. Trust me, I would not run an experience like that. I would savor. I am not running. I'm not locking and sitting in a corner screaming they're coming to get me. No, I'd say come and take me. No, well, I wouldn't. I'd say come and take me if you're going to bring me back. I'd miss my family too much.
He's going to say just.
Oh, you wouldn't be gone but a minute. They bring you back and you done aged 60 years.
Oh dear.
Yeah, back in 20. Remember?
So along with the helicopters doing the scanning, and because the UFOs, this is something that me and John was talking about, because the UFOs are being picked up in the infrared spectrum, the helicopters are using the infrared spectrum. And are they actively hunting these objects?
Yeah, they show up too late, though. It's real funny. They just show up too late. They're already gone. And the plane is the same way, too. But you really can't send over a supersonic jet to intercept a UFO that's doing 10 miles an hour over this redneck's house in Florida. You just can't do it unless you're going to try to shoot it down. And that's probably not going to work out too good. So.
What sort of helicopters are these, John? Are they military or just like regular police helicopters?
Good question.
It's mostly Blackhawks, but I call it the stealth. The first stealth helicopter I've ever caught out here was over the house about maybe a month, 3 weeks ago. You got the video. It just doesn't make any noise. It's just really, really quiet. And there it is, right over the house. And I was like, I'll be damned. Look at that. It's not making any noise. That's cool. It's got a noise suppression. I guess they put out the noise canceling, like they use speakers underneath it, is what makes it quiet. It cancels out its own noise.
Okay.
Like on Airwolf.
You can't hear it. It's just real, real quiet.
Damn. So.
And it was skinny too.
Sorry.
Do what?
I was going to say, are you looking to improve your equipment at any point? Is there anything better equipment you'd be able to get more clearer footage?
Do what now? Say that one more time.
Yeah, sorry. I was going to say, with your equipment that you're using at the moment, the infrared scopes you're using to capture these objects, is there anything else you could do to actually make a more clearer footage, more like a 4K footage, so you can actually see what these objects can be?
I did it. I've got the full spectrum. I've got the FLIR. I've got a more advanced night vision than I use now. And the problem is you have a loss of frames per second because it's got so many other things running on it at the same time. It drags the processing speed down. And the older one is the better one. But
hey, don't worry. Corny jokes are the good jokes. But
yeah.
now it's kind of changed now, because there is some sort of communication going on with you now. They're trying to communicate to you. While it takes me time to find this.
Well, let me say this first. The first time that I realized that the orb was trying to communicate with me is all of a sudden there's the orb is kind of stationary, and then it goes into a half moon shape, and then it stops, and then it zips across and stops. But it was all staying in the vision of my scope, all within the view. And at first I thought, well, that's just kind of crazy looking. And then I realized that the thing is trying to draw, like if you were taking your finger trying to draw pictures in the air, it was kind of like that. And it went on for over 2 minutes. I videoed it. And the name of that video is, does anybody know alien sign language? Now, you would think there would be a bunch of responses to that, because when you slow the video down, it comes up into frame real quick, and then it stops, dead stop, and then it'll go into elliptical shape, stop again, and then it'll come down and make another sweep. And then when it's starting a new letter or character, it zips so fast you really can't even see it move. It's already at the start again, and then it'll do a different shape. And it, like I say, over 2 minutes worth of that stuff. I tried to get help on that. Nobody would help. Nobody would help. It just fell on deaf ears, and then I figured they really didn't want to help. So it's the way it is. But one of these days I get around to going back to that. And which video are you going to show?
Well, it's going to show the pictures.
Oh, okay. Anyway, this about 2 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago, this string of pearls. It looks exactly like a string of pearls, except different numbered pearls. There'll be 4 pearls, 6 pearls, 7 pearls, 8 pearls, 9 pearls, or 2 pearls. They started coming by, and I was like, well, that's kind of a crazy looking object. So I just kind of put it on the side, and then I started just taking screenshots, and then I realized they're different. Now they got 3 dark ones and 2 white ones and 2 halfway white ones. Well, hell, I can almost make a number out of that. So there's a good example on the screen right there. You can see it. One is closer and one is brighter, and the rest of them are just there for the ride. So the number in the front would be 1. There's 1 digit in the front that's pushed up. There's 4 in the back. That's number 14 or the number 1, whichever way you look at it. And then there's a symmetrical one that's up. You can see 3 of the same shade, and then 4 of the darker shade right in the back. And the first thing I figured out was they were showing me the number 3 different ways. And I figured out that it was 3 o'clock in the morning, because I just trying to do some deduction to figure out what the hell they're trying to tell me a number for. And I'm like, well, okay, number 3, that's got to be 3 a.m. So I'm never out there at 3 a.m. Well, when I went out at 3 a.m., yeah, they were out there all right. They were everywhere. Don't bite your nails.
That was you, Mysterion. Yeah, I know that. I've been doing very good. Yeah, he commented on my video. He gave me a very he told me off for biting my nails. I'm doing good, mate. But John, this is amazing stuff. It's these photographs are absolutely incredible.
Most people would think that that's just an orb moving real fast, and the reason there's 4 or 5 there is because it's blurred. It's not blurred at all. They are exactly in focus, and they're timed. The frames per second in my night vision is timed exactly to where they're lit up, they're in view, and they're right there. And that's about as good a focus as I can get on them, because even the one you got on the screen now, the reason it's kind of blurry is it was hazy outside. There was haze and fog and clouds, and I was like, geez.
Because a moving orb, it has gone. A moving orb is quite smooth, isn't it? I mean, with that, it's all very cylindrical and separate. Yeah. So it's so what do you make out what these things are like in terms of like
individual orbs? It's individual orbs put together is all it is. But it moves so fast you can't hardly see it.
Did I cut myself off again?
You did, mate.
Okay.
What'd you do? What'd I miss?
I pressed the wrong button. So
yeah, it's bring the photos up again, Midden.
I am. That's what I was trying to do, and I hit the wrong button. Right.
And that's a friend of mine's picture there. It's 2 different colors. That's a friend of mine sent that to me.
Nice.
And see, they're 2 different colors. And you can see the top ones are kind of blurred out because they were in a hurry to meet up with the other ones. And it's just kind of crazy. But I was surprised that they had basically the same picture I did. But it's obvious there's 2 different color orbs there because they're 2 colors.
And no one has got back to you about this lettering sequence.
Nope, not a single person. You would think they'd be all over that.
Because you got the History Channel, you got the Galileo Project on your case. You would have thought they'd be interested in stuff like that.
Well,
like
you would think. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, they land in the yard out there. They kick out their little landing gear. They probably still won't call. I could care less at this point. I'm just burned out on it. I'll figure it out myself.
Get a photo, John, when you see it.
No, I told them I made a big tweet this morning on Twitter, and I said, here's a challenge for you guys. Here's a riddle. I said, tell me why when I hit Tinkerbell with my pointer, why that doesn't reflect back to me, and how in the hell is it shining me when I can't shine it? I said, go figure that one out, because my laser goes right through the thing, which is crazy. It never interrupts the laser beam at all. The little pointer, it doesn't interrupt it.
Yeah. So I think I asked this question earlier. Have you had any sort of contact or communication back with the laser pointer at all? Any flashing?
Yeah, they flash me back all the time. I make a compilation of that every 6 months or so. I put a compilation up, and there'll be about 30 flashbacks on there, which they're really bright. I don't put a dim one on there. I put only the bright ones on there.
Here's a video of Tinkerbell flashing back at you.
Yeah.
Let's get it up.
Which it does all the time.
Is my sound on here? I think you slowed this down, haven't you? Oh, good.
Yeah, it's slow. Yeah, it's just coming to me, says hello, and then takes the hell off.
See? A lot faster than I am, I have to admit.
So the funny thing is, I can call it. I can go out there and sit on the truck, and within a minute, I think a minute and 23 seconds is the longest it's ever taken to come. But usually it's there within 10, 20 seconds. It's already there. So,
bit like me. That was a bad pun. I tried to slip that in. I hope nobody heard it.
Too late.
Right. I don't want to press any buttons and kick myself off again. Here we go.
Got to bring it up, Hidden.
Oh, I haven't brought it up.
Yeah, you haven't got it up, bro.
Oh my god. Let me see. What am I doing here?
Well, it's too late for that.
Yeah, it's too late. Too late, mate. Too late. I see what's happened. All right. It's because I've gone over to another place. Okay. Okay. We'll see what else is here. Oops. I really hate this. All right.
No,
Now what'd you do?
This is a large one powering up.
At least your computer didn't quit functioning. Mine just said, "Screw you, I'm done." Yeah, look at this flashback.
Guys, ready? Here we go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a look.
Somebody told me that's a satellite too, and I'm like, they travel above the clouds, not below the clouds.
Yeah.
I can't quit getting a kick out of these people. I really can't. I'm like, yeah, that's satellite right there. Yep. I really didn't expect that flashback. It was like a surprise thing.
That's quite good.
How come it flashed back? Because it doesn't seem to be hit. Did you hit it with the laser?
No, I didn't. No, I don't believe I hit that one laser at all. I was just happening to catch it, and I'm like, oh, shit. It's probably aggravated because I didn't hit it with a pointer.
Are these just coming out at night, or do you reckon these are throughout the day? And just obviously you can't use the infrared.
It's just nighttime. I can see them racing across the sky to get out of the way if they don't want to be filmed or recorded. You can see them really, really, really booking across there. They won't be slow at all. This is intentional here. This thing's only doing, 50 miles an hour the most. It's not going very fast at all.
So it's like it wants to be seen.
Yep. It's getting its last few cents in before it moves on to wherever it's going to. Some of these guys are headed to the ocean. Some of them are headed to the East Coast. Some of them are headed to the North. The ones that I get the most interaction of in the last year is that they've all headed to the North. Every one of them.
Directly overhead.
Yeah, I'm just going to play this one,
Yes, you guys did. Come back in the big one, huh? On this one. There's a tree. You can see how big it is.
That's one of the ones that probably got me right there. Because it's directly over my head.
Overhead.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, I guess you guys did. Come back.
But you can see the energy swirling at the bottom of it. See it going around. I think that's probably what got me right there. So
that's a good segue, because after the video, that's another thing that we're going to touch upon.
You know where I sit.
Yep.
I sit here all the time. Just glad you came. Appears to be the same one in a video before.
I used my head this time instead of squint to see the little writing and stuff. I put the show up on the big screen TV, which is why I'm looking up, so I can see what the hell I'm looking at.
It's up there, dude. You might as well come down and land in the yard. Shit, I got a spot.
Amphetamines. Somebody got amphetamines. Yeah, these are all in Florida, man.
It's a UFO's hotspot there, isn't it, John? In Florida?
Yeah, it is, but I kind of help it along. I pester them.
He's probably big enough. They'd all probably fit.
They can't get nowhere near the yard when I don't put a beam on them and say, hey, look at me.
He's directly over my head right now. It's up there, buddy. Well,
see all that energy swirling around. It's crazy. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of energy coming off of that thing. And it's not that far up. It's further up than the other one is. But that object there is huge. It's 3/4 the size of a jumbo jet.
Yeah,
and the reason I know that is I filmed them going underneath the jets. You can see how big they are.
You can see it slowing down there, can't you?
Yeah, it's right over my head at this point. It's really, really close. It's damn close.
Have you ever tried to communicate with it on like a conscious level? I know it sounds.
I did everything. I think my ESP is broke.
But
my battery. Well, one night my battery went dead in my pointer, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. And here's a big UFO right here, and you can see the thing is doing just like that one did, except it just keeps on going by. It never stopped or slowed down or got any lower or anything. And I'm like, well, my ESP is definitely broke because I'm screaming, slow down, stop, come over, man, come over, come over, come over. And I'm like, damn battery, I should have bought the Duracell.
But now you touched upon this big object over your head, and you said that you felt that it done something.
Yeah, that's probably the one that got me. I got a condition that the doctors can't figure it out. It doesn't sit in a particular category. All they can do is guess at it. And I thought I had muscular dystrophy, to tell you the truth. And to find out that, well, older people like us, we just don't get muscular dystrophy. We've either had it since we were a kid or we don't have it. And I don't know, after all these tests and everything, I was losing 6 pounds of muscle mass a week. And that's a lot of muscle. I mean, muscles hold your joints together, your brain, your heart is a muscle, everything's a muscle. And the only way I could slow it down was taking a little bit of prednisone that I had. And I figured out that worked, and I got myself checked into the hospital the second time. And I just figured I had cancer, something stupid like that, you know, something that you could put your finger on, but no, it's some unknown thing. And it's like it's not getting any better. My body's getting used to it, but it's still not getting any better.
But you feel, oh, go on.
Do you think it's in connection with these sightings you're going through, John?
I think something or another caused my body not to create enzymes to feed my muscle. I think that's what it is. My muscles, they can't be fed or repaired, you know, because your muscles need to be repaired, and then obviously your body needs to be able to feed your muscles for them to work, and my body's not doing a very good job of that.
Now, Brian's asked the question. I don't understand it, but how many mgs? Do you know what that means?
Oh, on prednisone, it's just a minute amount, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. It's not very much at all.
Time released.
Not a time release. Just those little tiny pills, and that's it.
Okay.
And that stopped me. I went from over 340 pounds to 270. When I got to 270, I was quite freaking out because I was like, oh my God, my arms are gone, my legs are gone, my pants didn't fit. I had to get Dorothy to pull my pants up and get me dressed to go to work because I couldn't do it myself. I couldn't lift my arms. And it was really bad. It was scary. And I kind of got adjusted to it. I'm kind of doing the best I can, but still my arms and my shoulders are my issue right now. I just stuck with these chicken legs, which I think looks stupid. I'm 6'4" with chicken legs now.
I can cure that with some squats, mate. You'll be fine with that.
Yeah, well, I'm used to walking out in the yard, and if there's an engine out there or something laying down that needs to be moved 300 or 400 pounds, I pick it up and I can throw it. Now I can't pick up 10 pounds and throw it. So big difference in the last year.
Have you found any like remedies or anything like that? Was a doctor advised you? Don't go into anything like personal or anything like that. Just
they don't know. They don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. The orthopedic wouldn't touch me. The physical therapist looked at me and, okay, have a good day, because really there's nothing they can do. They can't make me exercise to fix my muscle because it doesn't work that way. The more I exercise, the smaller my muscles get. So it's the other way around. It's just really hard to deal with.
Yeah, sorry to hear you go through that, John. It must be like...
Well, it is what it is, you know. I did that. I did that English. That's probably why I got the little orb hanging out every day, is maybe it's protecting me or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'm part of a scientific thing. Look, let's see how much he can take.
Yeah, we had a joke like saying, well, you know, what if these beings, they have something like what we have, similar to YouTube, and every day they're watching videos of John shooting laser lights at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're going to make him in our image now. We're going to give him all these skinny little joints and no muscles and stuff and this big old pumpkin head.
And the big eyes.
Already got a big head. I just need some big shades on. That's all I need. Give me some of them alien glasses. I'll be good to go.
But there have been stories of people that have interacted with these beings of crafts, and they have sustained some sort of injury. Like
there's a few people dead. They're dead from they got soldiers
radiation
being around them.
Yeah,
Is it radiation? Is it radiation? Isn't it? I think people.
Well, it's radiation, and it's the magnetic force that's underneath these things. If you're sitting out there, let's say they got these little UFOs they're launching off on these missions and stuff, and you're one of the military guys that sits there and kicks the tires and looks at it and goes, "Yep, it should be good to fly." And you're standing there, and you get underneath the damn thing. Yeah, I can see it scrambling your brain right up.
Hmm.
right.
So I'm writing in chat. I can't do two things at once. I can't speak in.
I was
right at the same time. Sorry.
I was just going to pull up some more videos to have a look at what John's catching out there, because John knows I like the big ones.
He likes the big ones. That's what he says. But
somebody's going to clip that. Someone's going to clip that. I'm telling you, that's going to be.
I will now. I have to be on tomorrow morning.
Oh dear.
Go for it.
I don't think my missus would be too pleased.
But yeah, what you were saying about the smooth action of the orb is absolutely correct. It's not a jagged or a jumpy thing like a bug would do or any of that. It's real smooth, methodical, and it's super fast. I've got so many videos to go through and so much footage of the thing going up into the clouds. It's not even funny. And it gets there quick. Half a second, it can go from the end of the beam to the clouds. And that's several thousand feet. So I don't know what the speed on that is, but it's moving. It's definitely not slow.
What is your strangest object that you've seen to date?
Well, strangest, I would say, that would be, I call it this, you could see right through it, and it looked like a worm or a snake with its head cut off, and it was floating across the dam yard. And I didn't think much about it. I said, I've got a hair, I've got some pollen coming off a tree. There's got to be an explanation for it, until it went over the power line in the yard. And I was like, oh my God, the thing is over the power line. So when that happened, that's kind of one of those, what the hell was that thing? I mean, it was here, it was moving, and it floated away, and it wasn't small, it was quite large. And it's uploaded. I uploaded the damn thing.
So guys, remember, you want to see the videos that John's talking about, there are links in the description box in this video. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna put a link in now. This is for John's YouTube channel.
I think just keep going, John. I mean, eventually you're going to capture something incredible. I know you just got to keep. It's a bit like ghost hunting. You got to keep doing it, and eventually you'll hit the jackpot. Like the one.
Well, there's I think about 4 days ago, I had captured within just a few minutes over 50 objects. There was at least 3 Tinkerbells that were flying into the sky, flying into view, back out again, to let me know that there was more than one, because I was like, what the hell is going on? It's usually only one. And I realized that something else is going on, but I felt bad. I just felt real sore and real bad. My shoulders hurt. picking up the night vision. I'm struggling, you know, to just be happy and filming these things. And that was when I caught the energy beam going off into space, shooting across the sky. And I'm like, oh my God. So then all the objects like dissipated. There was not that many objects around. And then eventually I came in the house. And then when I came in the house, I realized what was going on. And then I accidentally stopped on one frame. And this one frame was just a blurred frame, but I was moving my location from filming low in the horizon to filming overhead. And you know how everything will streak when you point the camera and stuff. Well, I had my pointer was still out and it was on. And I captured in 2 frames a invisible orb that was right over my head that covered the whole sky. That was how big it was. And my laser was shining behind the orb, which they can't do that. They can be stealth and you can see through them. You can see the stars. Everything will look normal. But the laser beam, when you put the laser beam out there, they can't project that laser on the front of the object to make it invisible. So it blocks the laser beam out. And immediately when I seen those 2 frames, I said, shit, they're right over my head. They must have been trying to pick me up or something until they shot at them, you know. So then the very next night, you seen the large orb was right over my head. You should have seen how close it was before I got the night vision on it to record it. It was right over my head. I was like, holy shit. I mean, literally. I came out of that. I was filming the other coast. Wasn't even paying attention to anything above me because my eye's in an eyepiece. My left eye is closed. So I'm filming the East Coast in the distance. And a mosquito would not quit and bit me in the head. And that was why I come out of that night vision. And when I pulled the night vision away, I could see the UFO right over my head. And I was like, oh, crap, there it is, Lord. And, you know, you get up your recorder as fast as you can. And then as fast as I did, you can see how big it is when it pulls away and it goes straight up and then it comes across and goes down. And it was very close. Same object as the one that was swirling. It's the same type of UFO.
It's quite large. I'm going to throw this out here, John.
Yeah.
I know you're shooting these footage up in the sky. Have you tried to actually film inside your house to see whether or not they're actually coming through? I mean, I'm just going to put this out here. If you had the door open facing your yard where you get your activity, and you turned all the lights off in your place so it's completely dark, and you shined your scope through your doorway in so you can
there's nothing in the house. I've tried it.
Yeah, you tried it. I'll be interested to see if they follow you
and
actually inside
the size of the orbs, I should have said Underbelly that link or sent you that link of the 2 orbs that was in the yard the moment I discovered them. I did not know that I had stuff that was just sitting there hovering, watching me. And I turned on the infrared and looked over, and there's 2 orbs that are floating right next to me, about 20 feet away. The one orb sit there for 35 minutes in the same spot. It let me laser beam it. I did everything but throw a baseball at it. It didn't move. It wouldn't move. It sat right there. The other one went all over the yard, all over the house, all over the neighbor's yard. Came back after 35 minutes, and then both of them left together real slow and went to the south. And it was at that point right there I realized there's some crap in the yard watching me that I can't see. But I had figured out how to eliminate it, how to watch it. I've got a Gen 3 night vision with the infrared on it. They will not register in that. I've got the full spectrum Aurora camcorder. It won't register in that. I have the FLIR. It won't register in that. But both of these pulsar night visions, it shows up in either one of them if you use the infrared with it. But if you don't use the infrared, you can't see the things. They could be sitting right in your lap, over your head. And I have a lot of fun with it. These days, I kind of leave the invisible ones alone because there's a reason they want to be invisible. They want to do their own thing, but be left alone. They don't want somebody sitting there poking a bright light, looking at them or playing with them with a laser beam. They can't stand the infrared. And it was incredible to me that these objects didn't show up under the other equipment. You just couldn't see it. You couldn't see it at all. You would never know they were there. And then the other thing is they got different markings. One week they'll have a little mark up on their forehead that's square. The next day it'll be a circle right in the center. The next week it'll be a little dot on their chin. The next one will have craters all over its face. I mean, it's just all different designs of these orbs, and they're not here all the time. It's like they change out. The original ones have never been back since, but the other ones have. The other ones that went back and forth. Now, when you're talking about the orbs, because they're in front of that tree over here that's in the yard, I could size it up. And those orbs that I was recorded the first night I discovered them, I sized them up to be 2 foot wide, and that's a pretty big orb. That's not a small orb. That's pretty big, 2 foot. And then within a month, I had 3 foot orbs, and then some that were literally bigger than me. So I get all this criticism, and everybody was like, "Oh man, that's a bug. You know, that's a moth. That's whatever." And I'm like, "The hell it is. It's not dust, man. The wind's blowing this way. The orb's moving into the wind. That's not a piece of dust. And plus, they're shy. When you turn on the infrared, they go hide behind the damn tree." And you know, you kind of think, well, what the hell is that? Can you debunk that anyway? Well, I debunk it all right. I videotape it, and when I'm recording it, I make sure there's a bug that's in the frame next to the tree, next to the orb with a bat eating it. And there's no way you can say that's a bug if there's a bug already there that the bat's chasing down. You know, it's not going to work that way. Like I say, the bat looks like a bat. The moth looks like a moth. The bug looks like a bug. The owl looks like an owl. I've captured everything. Yeah, even the spider in the web in the damn tree, the same tree I'm filming with the orb in it, I can focus in enough to see the web and see the spider sitting in the center of that web. So there's no way it's a infrared refraction or anything. It just doesn't work that way. And
because if it was a bird, you see the wings flapping, there'll be some sort of relevance of the
in detail.
Yeah,
you can see the little bat, the little tips on his wingtips and his little claws and his little teeth. You can see all of it. If you freeze it and you zoom in on it a little bit. I'm trying to think, well, those orbs that's in the yard that are invisible, I don't bother them too much. I just don't, out of respect. You know, it's like okay, I already know what they look like. I've got a bunch of recordings of them. There's nothing I can get out of these orbs that I hadn't already got before. And at one time they started flashing because I mentioned that everybody thinks you're a damn bug, and they started flashing, and then they stayed flashing, and now they really don't flash anymore.
Because two questions then. First of all, do you think that these orbs, they're showing some sort of intelligence?
Yeah, definitely are, but they're observing is what they're doing. They're observing, and they're just doing their time, doing their thing, and I just leave them the hell alone. If I stop recording the UFOs and I turn on my infrared to say first power and I look straight up, there's always one or two right over my head all the time. And they get quite aggravated when I do it. They take off, you know, they fly off and I record it, but you know, after a while, nobody cares anyway. It's like, oh yeah, see the orb.
What is your take on these orbs? Could they be something spiritual?
I think they're transdimensional. I think that's what they are. I think they've been here. They've probably been here the whole time. It's just nobody paid attention to them. And then I got the feeling the first night that I recorded them that one orb was basically like, what in the hell? This guy can see us. He's putting a laser beam in our face now. This guy's looking at us. What the hell? And it was kind of a curiosity thing the very next night. And I kept waiting on them to go about their own business. And they kept coming back for, I think, 8 days in a row. I titled it that way because I fully expected them not to be seen again. And they kept coming back. They've been here ever since. And I just really don't record them anymore.
Tams, maybe you're right there, man.
Well, even Tinkerbell does not like infrared. If I put infrared on Tinkerbell, it goes into turbo mode and it will streak across the sky to get away from it. Literally, it does not like it, and you know it doesn't like it, and there's no reason to, you know, if I didn't like something, I'd be telling it, hey, would you turn that shit down because you're blinding my retinas, okay? You know, they would probably do that. They would at least pay attention to it, but it's kind of the same thing as what I think.
Now, if you don't know what John means by Tinkerbell, this is the name that he's lovingly called the orbs.
Yeah, there's one orb in particular that for a year I had probably 10 videos of the thing, and I was watching the movie Hook. Hook was on TV with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman and all them, and I went outside and I'd never seen this little orb before, and I was filming. I was recording 2 UFOs on the East Coast long after sunset, and they were kind of next to each other, one on top, one on the bottom, moving real slow. And I was recording them, and I flashed them with a laser, you know, a little bit, trying to get their attention, see if I can get a flashback or a power up or anything out of them. And about that time, this little orb shows up, flies around my laser beam, and then gets right up in my face and flashes the hell out of me. And I said, what in the hell is that? And I chased it with my laser beam across the treetop out of the yard. And it was outrunning me. It was going faster than I could turn the laser. But when I ran the recording back, you could see the thing was not reflected because of the laser beam. It had its own power source. And I said, what the hell was that? That's like a Tinkerbell fairy out here in the yard. And then it kind of stuck, and I've been using that name ever since, and now it responds to it. It's kind of like naming your dog, you know, Felix or something. If it answers to it, why change the name? So, nothing to do with Disney or the fairy or anything. It's just, it just sort of spit out of my mouth. I've been calling it that ever since, but, you know, for the whole year, it showed up about 10 times, and every time I got it, I recorded it. But now I go in the yard and I've got 2 hours of footage of the damn thing every night. It takes forever to edit it. You can't imagine how many clips in there that I don't post them. I just save them, but I don't bother uploading them. It's too much footage.
And well, speaking of footage, let's have a look at another one of John's great captures.
Yeah, you gotta show the one. You gotta show the challenge one. The challenge one's pretty cool. The one I just put out this morning.
There's an enormous one. Traveling real slow. Very low altitude. It's coming directly out of the West Coast.
Oh, it's just a UFO. That's nothing to do with Tinkerbell there. But you like the big ones. He likes the big ones.
I'm not saying nothing. That's going to get clipped.
I think this is this the one with 3 UFOs in it. This a clip with 3 UFOs.
I haven't got a clue, mate.
Because if it is, it's got like 47,000 views on my Twitter. And then the other video, the one you showed a while ago, it's got almost 80,000 views on Twitter now. It says 79,900 or something like that. It's real close to 80,000 views, and I'm like, holy smokes! Because I don't even have 4,000 followers.
But there you go. Let's get it to 90,000, guys. The link is in the description box to his Twitter.
Yeah, this is a really bright beam right here. I don't use this too much. This thing hurt my eyeballs.
I just think how graceful they are. That's why I like the big ones, because they're
flashback. Interaction or anything. It's just there. Not care in the world.
And you know, I given all these orbs and everything a lot of thought, and I'm like, you know, what if a burglar comes in the yard and there's Tinkerbell out there, and Tinkerbell whips this guy's ass and kills him right out here in the sand? I'm like, how would I explain that? Some guy in the yard dead from blunt force trauma. Death by Tinkerbell.
One of them hits him like the truck.
Yeah, I mean, that's enough to knock you off the truck. If it hits you like that hard, I mean, that have to hurt. It probably put a hole through you.
East Coast.
Felix is the CIA agent.
Yeah.
So he's in.
There's the tree. That's how low that thing is.
Yeah.
That is not a satellite.
These are the shots I like because then you got the tree and you can got a bit of perception.
Yeah, I kind of like having the trees around in one way, and another way they kind of block my view some, but it gives the definition.
Well, John, that's most UFO footage. There's always a tree in the way.
Yeah.
See if he clicks out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
look how graceful that is, man.
He's
and again, no nav lights.
So he's moving due east.
Not in any hurry either. It's taking his time.
There he goes, clicked out.
I thought John left us, man. He's like, yeah, I'm fed up with this show now. I'm going.
I'm out. Yeah.
Here we go. See what I've been listening to.
Yeah, it's good stuff, John. It's really good stuff. Have you got anything?
Yeah, it's so much though. There's 1,600 videos on YouTube alone. You know, I mean, it'd take you a week. You'd have to take a week off to watch the videos now.
Have you got a one footage that goes? You can see Tinkerbell go through the clouds at all?
Yeah, there's several of them in there. You just have to look for it. I think I sent him too many videos yesterday.
You did mention that. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, there's just so much footage in there. But Tinkerbell videos has Tinkerbell on it, so you can't mistake that. And now it's all over the place. It's every night now. And if you check back, if you just go a year back before, you can see they're not Tinkerbell videos. There's orb videos, but that's not the same. Those guys are not the same as that orb is. That orb is completely different.
Okay.
All right, let's. We're gonna play.
This thing here was just crazy. The one you're trying to put up.
Yeah, that's waiting for you all to finish. Okay,
you know, it should be some kind of explanation for that object, but I haven't been able to debunk it yet. Usually, it's something that the infrared is reflecting off of or something, but there's nothing there.
There is a big object right there.
And see, the night vision didn't record it very well, but there's a very large object that is invisible that's moving up, and I can see it. But I can't see it in the night vision. It was hard to explain. And then all of a sudden, here's this thing. I'm like, what the hell is that? And it's so bright.
That just popped out of nowhere.
It's like energy's coming out of the bottom and the top of it, but you know, normally that would be a spider web or something, you know, you're reflecting on, but there's the orb right in front of it. It's some distance away from me. It's not real close. You can see the bugs and all the crap flying around in that.
It's like it's wobbling as well. It's actually like pulsating.
Yeah, but I don't know what the hell it was, so I put it up anyway. I'll let everybody see it. I don't care. It is what it is. I just call it unknown. I don't call it alien or flying saucer or any of that stuff. To me, it's just an unknown thing that I've never seen before. I'm like, what the hell is that?
So how?
And then I got another one. I got two of them. There's an even bigger one. I caught 4 nights ago.
So how can you tell that there is a cloaked object there? Because that just looks like an empty piece of.
It's like seeing a piece of saran wrap pulled right in front of the stars. It kind of makes the stars look kind of funky, and you can see it, but the night vision won't record it right. It's like there's an object in space that I discovered it probably a month ago that was putting out a tremendous amount of light beam. It was kind of like a purple beam. And it's coming from this satellite dish looking thing. And I finally videoed it. I captured it on video, but the beam itself does not show up on the night vision, but you can see it with your eyes. It's very overwhelmingly bright. But it will not record on the night vision. I don't know why. It's just crazy, but it looks like a satellite dish is what it looks like sitting up there.
The reason why I paused this is because I just wanted to see this object, how it just came in the frame. It just came in out of nowhere. So it just pops up.
Yeah, I haven't even looked at it that much. Think about all the videos I got, man. It's hard for me to even edit this stuff, much less spend a lot of time looking at it, analyzing it, you know. Yeah, it just kind of pop into space.
It just popped up.
Yeah, I always assume I just panned over on it, but no, I just sort of, whoop, there I am.
And there's your bugs flying around, so you can see.
Yep.
You can tell. Yeah.
See, there's a moth. I can tell either. But you saw that.
Yeah, you can see a moth fly down right there. You can see the wings on that moth fly down. And it's behind, that object is behind that moth.
That's some good stuff.
That's good. Yeah. That is one of the best ones so far. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that was. I just don't know.
I just like how it's like, hey, you're film. Maybe that's what they did, because you was filming the cloaked one. They said, you know what? Let's send out something, a decoy that'll distract him.
Yeah, could be. Very well may be right about it.
It just popped up.
Now, Dorothy will tell you that when I first started recording all this stuff, I thought, what the hell is this? It looked like a plate was floating up near the treetop, going up and down and sideways. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a flying saucer. It's little bitty thing. I was so excited. I recorded. I come running in and I woke Dorothy up 1:30 in the morning. They're in the yard, honey. They're here. They're here. Then when I went out there to debunk it, I find the damn spider web. And I was like, that's a freaking spider web. And then I went up the next night, found a spider web, sure enough, put it on there. It made the same shape. And I was like, that's a damn spider web.
Oh, you live and learn.
And I mean, I'm a big debunker. I believe in debunking. I don't believe in going, oh, that's alien. Oh, the table's wet. It's got a few drops of water on it. That's where the alien landed right there. You know, I ain't into all that stuff. I'm like, here it is. I record it. You can look at it. Draw your own conclusions, but just know that that's not a satellite dish above the yard about 100 feet with a rock you can hit it with. That's not a satellite. So other than that, you can say whatever you want to say. I don't care.
Let's have a look at this one. Oh, that's a plane. That's definitely an aircraft. Small little Cessna, I think.
Yeah, that's see the two lights on it?
Yeah.
They were literally chasing the UFOs down that night. I was getting quite aggravated because every time I'd find one of the large orbs, they're chasing the damn thing down. Here it is right here. This guy's chasing right after this orb. And the orb is bigger than that plane. It's just higher. And it was just quite aggravating. And then there's another one that was going head on into it, and the orb went straight up into space and disappeared. That was how it got away from the plane. There's one that's just close to it. You can see it above it. Here comes, this is that plane with a little pod underneath the wing, the little plane with the big pod. Here it comes right here. See it? It's sticking outside of one wing. That plane goes back at least 2 years of UFO footage. So I looked it up. It was 2 years. First time I recorded it.
There's a really bright one right in front of the dang plane. He's going directly overhead. He's moving on pretty good too. He's heading to the west. He's heading backwards to what the satellites usually are.
Yeah, little object skipping across there pretty fast.
Get him go. The big object next to the plane again. Just a lot higher. He's going across there so slow. Another low flying plane. See which one this is. Yep, that's one on the side. There you go.
If you have a UFO in mind that people have seen before, odds are I have a video of the same UFO.
It's awesome.
So there's a video the guy put out in 2012 with his telescope and his camera. It was in the daytime, and there's a twin cigar up there in the clouds, and the guy films it for several minutes with a telescope and his camera. Gets really good footage of it, and about 3 months back, maybe, I was talking to a buddy of mine on the phone in Arizona. He films UFOs too, and the thing flew out between two clouds and made a turn and then just took off. And I recorded it, and then next thing I know, one of my followers says, "Hey, John, here's the same UFO right here." And then I gave it to Jack. Jack put it on his show. And that was kind of unique, a double cigar. I never seen one before. But there it is, the same object. Except I got it in motion. It's turning, going real fast. So,
what I just put on is a compilation.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That saves a lot of time.
And well, I just put it on so like we can have a chat, and then if something interesting, to give me a shout, and then I can pause it and go back. But yeah, Tony's asked that, how come you didn't jump in your car and follow it?
Shit. Yeah, by the time I get warmed up and get the gate open, they're gone.
There you go.
Most of them are so low anyway, you don't realize how much area they can cover very fast. Even at 20 miles an hour, if you don't go in a straight line like they do, you're never going to catch them.
Look at that.
And also, you're filming through a lens as well. So to film that whilst driving is not a very good idea. You'd be stopping every minute, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And it's hard to hold it. I mean, it's really hard to hold the night vision up to film all this stuff. And then when you got a pointer in the other hand, it's even more hard.
Have you got a tripod, Tony? Do you use one? Or is that just free-handed? Are you using it?
I just freehand it. It's small, it's light, it doesn't weigh anything. But.
Okay.
See, because he's done this compilation for me because he's put the big ones in.
Yeah, I did a few compilations. Yeah, we were having a show and I had this idea and I said, you know what? I'll make it easy and make it where you just get the highlights. And, you know, it's hard to go through all those videos at one time or another. It's just so much footage.
There you go. There you go.
And I have no shortage of footage. I have no shortage at all whatsoever. You want to borrow some? Have at it.
I know somebody who does want to borrow your footage. Mr.
Hey, have at it. Have at it, buddy. Just give me some credit for it, and you'll be good to go.
You know I do. You know I will.
Yeah, you always have. The Japanese, when they first started showing my videos, at first they would give me no credit for it. And I was like, hey, I appreciate you sharing my videos. I really do. And, you know, but you're not the ones that capture them. And as long as you give me credit for it, we won't have any problem at all. And we've been good ever since. Yeah, they put them on about every week. I'll be on one of the videos.
Yeah.
That little unknown object, though, they went crazy over that one. I said, man, I don't know what that is. I just can't explain it. You know, all I know is it could be some explanation for it. I just don't know.
Do you think sometimes some of these are mingling with something from Space Force, or they're just all on their own?
Space Force is different. I try not to put them up.
Is there anything? Can we talk about any things that you have seen that you?
Well, the difference between this object that you're showing right now and the one in Space Force is the one in Space Force doesn't have all that energy hanging out on the outside of it. But I will tell you this, they will flash you back every now and then, which is kind of hilarious that they do that. But I'm like, oh, he's fired. That guy's getting fired.
Space Force will flash you back.
Yep.
Can I ask you a question then?
You think about it, if you can't tell anybody what you do as a job, and your wife is driving you absolutely crazy, you could drag her ass in the bedroom, lock the door, turn on YouTube and go, honey, you want to see what I do? And just point at it. And there you'd be on TV, on footage. So I think that's kind of why they do it.
Have you ever witnessed any of the Space Force equipment or crafts entering space? Or can you say anything?
Probably, but I couldn't prove that was what it was. Now, Nick, there's a video which I didn't send him the clip to it, the link to it or anything, but I actually captured a UFO, a flying saucer, that was making a frequency noise that showed up on my scope. It comes right by my right shoulder or my left shoulder, so you can time this object to when it's closest to you and it's right next to you. So you can time it. In 1.5 seconds, it is in outer space in the horizon. It goes straight out. And I actually got a good screenshot of it, and you can see the little canopy on the top of it. And it's going 720,000 miles an hour. You can time it because I know how far I can see with my scope.
Do you know what it's called, John? Could you remember what the video is called?
If you go on my channel, look at the most viewed.
Yep.
And it should be the second or the third one down. Probably the third one down. You'll see a mention of noise on it, and you'll see a screenshot of the disc itself.
And what you reckon that's space?
Creepy sound next to it or whatever. That could very well be Space Force. We would not know if it's Space Force or not. All I know is if you do the math, because I can see at least 300 miles with the night vision. If it's illuminated object, I can see at least 300 miles.
Tammy's got a question for you. Oh, sorry.
Is it called UFO climbs into space? Is that what it's called?
It should say something like fast UFO creepy sound or something like that's next to it. Because it made a sound. Okay. You can hear the sound if you turn your speakers up. Hold on, I'll look on it and see which one it is.
Tam's asked the question for you, John.
Yeah.
She says, I was going to ask one time, I noticed my devices were recording a strange noise a day after seeing an anomaly in the sky. Any idea why?
They can actually hack into your recording device. I've had 2 voicemails left on my scope so far.
What?
The first time it happened, Wilbur was on the couch. He jumped up and says, oh my God, that's extraordinary. The most movement I've seen the man move the whole time he was here. So I played the video twice with this weird alien sounds in the background, right? After I played it the second time, the alien sounds were missing from the video, and I couldn't figure out why. And I'm like, what in the hell? So I deleted them. I deleted the download. I pulled out my scope, and I downloaded it again, and they were still missing. And then I realized at that point, they had technology enough to put it on there, but they also had the technology to take it off. It wasn't meant for me to share that. It was a personal thing, I guess. And it was it was the weirdest noise I ever heard in my life. It was so loud when I played it on my cell phone, Dorothy could hear it through a closed door in the yard. She came in and actually goes, what in the hell is that? And I said, that's some alien shit. I don't know what it is. But it only played twice, and then it was gone. And the last time anything like this happened was probably a couple months back, and it was late at night when I'm normally not out here, and there was a UFO that was way up out of the atmosphere, moving very, very slow. So slow you couldn't almost see it moving. It was moving so slow, and it was directly above. And I just filmed it. I didn't think anything about it. And I come inside and I'm downloading it, and all of a sudden I hear this freaking whirring sound and some weird ass voice on it. And I'm like, what in the hell is that? And then the more I listened to it, the worse it got. It just got worse. And I actually was able to upload that one. That one's on YouTube. You can get it and listen to it. So, but yeah, they can tap into your devices. Yeah.
This is interesting with this footage here because you can clearly see you got high altitude clouds, which you call that altostratus, and you can tell that object is below that. You can easily tell, so you can tell that's not in space at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
It's basically it's round about 10,000 feet, round about 10 to 15,000 feet. You can tell by that.
I'd say by the size of that, it's probably around. I'd say about 8,000 feet. If it's 10, it's too big. At 10,000 feet, it would be. Well, it would look. Well, I just put it that way. If it's that big at 10,000 feet, it's big as a football field.
Wow.
So it's not quite that high, but they're 3/4 the length of a commercial jet. So commercial jet's about 127 feet wide, and it's a little bit longer, the length of it. And I'm guessing these things, some of these are very, very large. It's just you wouldn't realize how big they are until they get right over your head.
John, this is it, isn't it? Hyperdisc, creepy sound.
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Right.
Yeah, turn the sound all the way up on that and play it. The object will come from my left, and you'll see it exit out in the atmosphere straight out. It goes straight. It doesn't go up. Just straight.
It was another quick one. Just flew right through here.
I shortened it because YouTube green screened it. And man, that thing is moving. I mean, that's moving
It was
quick.
another quick one. Just flew right through here.
Yeah, I don't even hear it. But maybe I got
another
it
quick
down too low.
just flew right through here.
But you can definitely hear it when it goes by.
Yeah,
it was another quick one. Just flew right through here.
That's definitely not your chair moving.
No, that's a frequency sound.
Those satellites make noise.
Yeah, I had a different
was
chair
another
back
quick
then. I was sitting in the yard
flew right
getting bug
through
bit.
Yeah,
It
you
was
can tell.
another quick one.
Perfect
Just
timing.
flew right through here.
Perfect timing.
It was another quick one. Just flew right through here.
Oh.
But anyway, the speed of that object right there is traveling. It's still 6 days to the planet Mars, which it looks like it's really going fast, but it would still take 6 days to reach the planet Mars. That just shows you how far out that planet is. And that was fairly close, compared to the other ones.
It was
Yeah. It's perfect timing as well.
Yeah. I didn't even realize I captured it. I didn't hear it go by. You can't hear it with your ear, but the night vision, the microphone on it picks it up.
That's amazing. That's good
So
stuff.
there's a really loud sound coming from Tinkerbell 3 days ago. If you go to that video and play the second clip, you will hear that thing, how loud that is. And I couldn't hear that with my ear either, but it is very loud and it's obnoxious sound.
Yeah,
Yeah, Elon ain't got nothing to do with this.
Well, we're gone over the 2-hour mark. So what I'm gonna do now is, if any of you guys, I know you've been asking questions, but if you have any questions for John Bell, hit us up with them.
I got one question for you, John. What do you expect to happen in the near future, as you continue through this journey of capturing these orbs? Do you expect to make some sort of contact at some point? I mean, what are you looking to happen in the near future?
I think, well, my friend from Galileo, he said, you got to figure out some way to communicate back to them. And I'm like, well, really, I don't, because if I say, hey, Tinkerbell, where you at? The thing shows up immediately. If I start talking to it, it gets excited. It goes all over the damn place. It's like a ping pong ball. With that being said, and with the object being the way it is, and the frequency of the world the way it's going right now, you have to ask yourself, why is that thing in the yard? Why is it here? And I still can't answer that question. I don't know if it's a curiosity thing, if it just figures out Florida's got better weather than where it was before. Maybe it wants to be protective, because I may have, I've been, diminished quite a bit. So maybe it's protecting me from other things. And I think as far as contact goes, I think it's going on right every night. The contact is, I mean, you look at the movie Close Encounters, that thing, the landing bay opened up, and here comes these little skinny green guys come flying out. And, I may not have grays in the yard, but I got a freaking little orb the size of a basketball that it goes all over the place. And it's obvious that it likes it. It's got a sense of humor, the whole 9 yards, but I don't think it's spiritual.
Brian,
I think it's technology.
Brian has a question for you, John. He said, I may have missed this already, but are they becoming more and more obvious and more often as time goes? Good
Yeah,
question.
mine's about the large objects. It comes and it goes. And the small object, it's here. It's here all the time. And it's increased in the last 2 months, but it's just, it's here. It's not going anywhere. I went outside and there was a thunderstorm with a bunch of lightning going on the other coast. And that was the only time Tinkerbell's been missing in the last 3 months that I know of. That's the only time. And I think it had something to do with the electrical storm that was going on. It was pretty intense. And I mean, hell, maybe it affects it. It affects my scope. When the lightning strikes, my scope will flicker. So, yeah.
Well, only time would tell. I'll say just keep going. It's very exciting. It's like I like to do a bit of sky watching, but to see something every day, that's quite a treasure to have, really. If I was in your situation,
I'm just so used to it. Yeah, I'm used to it. To me, it's an everyday thing. I'm like, oh, there's a UFO. Oh, there's another one. Yep. And then when I get up to about the 20 mark, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of downloading to do tonight. I'm going to be up till 3 o'clock in the morning. Shit. And then not realizing that, 3 years ago, I had to give here's my left kidney for a UFO.
Now
they're just everywhere now. So
I would say, at least if you want them to come to your presence, I would say try to communicate with them. But I think you're kind of going down, if you're saying their technology, but if you're dealing with them on a spiritual level, I think you're asking for trouble, because you kind of like, wouldn't say it's like channeling or anything like that, but you never know.
I don't have to do people say the C5 and all these different things. And the first time that I realized, hey, there's a base up north that they are all flying into, and it's probably our stuff, that's doing that. I was like, wow, I might need to reach out to somebody before I wind up disappearing out of the yard. You know, I'd be out there filming. Next thing I know, 10 guys shows up in black suits, you know, and M4s, and I'm like disappeared.
See, now do you understand, Nick, why I said John can go two ways?
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean, I just soon that not happen, but I was trying to reach out to Greer at the time.
Oh God,
And,
he ain't bother with you.
the only thing I got in touch with was some of the people that were volunteering for him, and they were like, "Oh yeah, let's see this," and "Oh yeah," and then you never hear anything back, and I'm like, you know, this is a kind of a safety thing I'm asking about. You know, I'm asking whether or not, you know, should I even publish any of this stuff, because I didn't know. I was new to it, and after probably about 2 weeks of not getting anywhere, I said, you know what, screw this, I'm going to do it anyway. I don't care. So I've been that way ever since. And people ask me, do you meditate or anything? No, I don't meditate. I put on bug spray and swat them when they come up. That's about as close as it gets. And if I want to say, well, you know, hey, you know, it's real cloudy and the sky's all crappy, you guys are going to have to come down low, and you're going to have to get really bright for me to pick you up on a scope. Well, usually they do it unless they're getting shot at. And I mean, it's just a bad thing when you see energy beams flying across the damn sky, you know, that's just crazy. But it is what it is, you know, and my biggest fear is being used for bait, you know, for somebody to start shooting at them. And that's the last video I want to see, is some guy shooting a beam at one of these UFOs, and then I get the video it crashing to the earth, you know. I mean, I don't need that. I don't want to see that. I'd feel guilty about that, you know, like, sorry, I got your guys killed. You know what? I'm just sorry. I'm just trying to be friendly to you. You know, I know you're all dead and crashed all over the ground.
But just think you'd have YouTube gold if you'd be the next, what's his name? Jonathan Reed.
Yeah, I never lived to spend it, though. They had me packed away in a little trunk of a car, and off I go. Dorothy never see me again.
Yeah, but Jonathan Reed was all right because he wrapped his up in a he made it a burrito.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but anyways, now, John, there has been a story that has been going around now, because we're going to wind it down now because we're coming up to, but there has been a story going around. I don't know if you've heard about this, about the strange noise that was that was heard. I don't know if you guys in the chat have heard about this, but let's take a look at this real quick, because NASA was pretty quick to give an explanation for this. And
my noise I captured was the same day that happened. So if you want me to send you a link to that video, I'll send you a direct link on it, and you can just put it up real quick.
Well, here,
and you can listen to my noise.
Well, let's play this one and compare noises then, yeah? But
yeah, play that one. I'll also give you the link to this one.
Here's the chatter from Mission Control to well, they're saying it's from the International Space Station. But it's all right, let's just play this and listen, yeah?
Yeah.
Houston on 2, got a question about Starline.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
Strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me key mic and let you hear. I don't know what's making it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
We can configure that, Butch. Give us a minute, and I'll call you back when it's ready.
Okay.
Station Houston on 2, we're configured for audio via hardline and CST. You want to give us a call?
Okay, I'm in Starliner, and how do you read?
5x5, how many?
Okay, I'm gonna key the mic up next to the speaker.
Copy.
Hear that?
Negative, Butch. We did not hear anything.
Yeah, you can hear that.
All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping.
I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go. Hey, over to you. I'll let you figure it out.
Yep, good recording. Thanks, Butch. We will pass it on to the team and let you know what we find. And Butch, just to make sure I'm on the same page, this is emanating from the speaker in Starliner. You don't notice anything else, any other noises, any other weird configs in there? Okay, thank you.
Please send more toilet paper because everyone here is absolutely crapping themselves.
Well, isn't that has to do with these two people that are stranded out there?
Yeah, yeah.
It is.
Hey,
yeah.
I got this. I sent it to your ex. Anyway, it's the second clip in this video. Has the sound on it. You can clearly hear it. It's loud as hell. I mean, it's really loud. And it's Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell's real close and real bright and real slow.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to that in a second because NASA did issue what they said this was. Now, bear in mind that I believe it was it a Japanese or Chinese astronaut? I believe it would be Chinese, wouldn't it? Because Japanese hasn't got a space program, or am I wrong?
No,
or he could have just been a Japanese astronaut, but he claimed that when he was out in space, he could hear tapping.
Yeah, it was like a hammer or something, he said.
So I mean, this phenomena is kind of strange. Thank you. But I'm hearing it now. We're getting tapping here. We're getting tapping here, man.
That was me.
The aliens are trying to communicate with us. You see, we get John Bell, and now the aliens. Who knows Morse code, man? That could be something like "bring more weed." But here's NASA's drivel of it. This is on my Twitter, and it's also on my Facebook page, and on my Discord. So, guys, links are in the description box to those. Also, links for Nick on Rumble. But here's the foolishness that I can't play it backwards. Thank you. There's many things I can do, but I can't play it backwards. Right. Here's their explanation. A pulsating sound from a speaker in the Boeing Starliner spacecraft heard by NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore aboard the International Space Station has stopped. The feedback from the speaker was the result of an audio configuration between the space station and Starliner. The space station audio system is complex, allowing multiple spacecrafts and modules to interconnect, and it is common to experience noise and feedback. The crew is asked to contact mission control when they hear sounds originating in the comm system. The speaker feedback Wilmore reported has no technical impact to the crew, Starliner, or space station, or the station operation, including Starliner's uncrewed, undocked from the space station. Oh, from the space station. Never mind. Forget it.
You know what it says if you play it backwards?
It says get weed.
It says NASA sucks. NASA sucks. NASA sucks.
or we could go on the other one and say we're still in the pool. We're still in the pool. We haven't made it to space. Right.
We're in the swimming pool now, Johnny.
Here we go. I'm gonna have to get that. Thank you. Okay, so more guff from NASA, or is it? Because you would think now, astronauts. I'm sure they would have said, "Look, if you're going to hear any strange noises, it's going to be that."
Well, the thing that's happened with Tinkerbell lately is Tinkerbell has started flashing with this enormous flash now, and it's so bright it lights up the sky and everything. You can see it, how intense it is. And this sound just happened to be there last night. I don't know what the hell it was doing. It was like it was scanning or something. It's real loud. It's obnoxious loud. So if you play it, you'll hear it. But I sent it your message on X.
I got it.
And
I
it's
got
number
it.
2, the second clip. The first clip isn't bad either. I'm just talking to Tinkerbell as usual, but second clip's pretty cool.
I'm just going to play the whole clip. How's that one?
That'll work too.
Any sound on that? No. Here we go.
I see.
You hear the crickets again.
You ain't bothering me any. We play you all the time. Come on. That was cool, whatever that was.
It was actually a flyby. There's a cigar coming into the atmosphere. If you slow it down, you can see it, but hear the freaking noise? You must have turned it down.
No.
Oh, he rewound
so
it.
Quick. It's still flashing. Look, now it's going back the other direction. You're just a mess. I mean, it's like, damn.
Yeah, this thing has definitely got a brain to cross the sky that fast too, that high up all of a sudden.
Tinkerbell. And you're just a distraction. Hang on there, we'll find that other object again.
Yeah, I was filming another UFO and I pulled off because Tinkerbell kept zooming and zapping out of the film, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna play with you then.
So that was the sound at the beginning, was it?
Yeah, in the very beginning of the second video where it gets real close.
I see.
It's real loud. It sounds like a electric razor or something.
Yeah, we'll start it from the beginning then.
Yeah, it's right after this video here.
I see you. Come on.
Hey, buddy.
You ain't bothering me any. We play you all the time. Come on. That was cool, whatever that was.
And there's that big flash at the end. It's like, damn.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That was so bright it left checker marks in my video, you know, like a grid pattern. I'm like,
so quick.
I've only had that happen once
Now
before.
it's going back.
That's good stuff.
All right. Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff, John. Yeah. Awesome.
So there you go. We're at 2.5 hour mark. So
Any questions?
Say good night,
Any
everybody.
questions in
We'll
chat?
see y'all later. We're turning into pumpkins.
uh,
Hey man, it's not even 6 o'clock here. I'm good to go.
Any more questions for John in chat? Any more questions you want to put forward before we wrap up now?
well, you can ask Nick. I mean, one of the questions we always wanted, Nick, who does your hair, man? It's always immaculate.
Oh, me? Oh, and that is. Oh, you're saying that I'm looking good today, is it? That's a very compliment from you. Yeah.
I can see that going to be in a short now.
Yeah.
He's going to line it up if he likes the big ones.
No, I appreciate it. No, I always make sure I look good for a live show. It's just, I think presentation's everything, especially when you co-host as well. So, but yeah, I got a new Primark shirt, which I'm quite happy with. So,
I put on my button-up shirt, which I look better than a t-shirt, I think. Oh, you want to see what I look good with hair? Look, I got hair now. Look,
exclusive. John Bell with hair.
Yeah.
I'm Fabio. I tell you guys a funny story. I went up to Six Flags over New Jersey one time, and they had this new roller coaster that opened up. It's supposed to be like one of the fastest roller coasters in the world. And guess who was there? Fabio was there. And they put him on this roller coaster. The news is there, grand opening, and he goes around, and all of a sudden this gigantic goose flies up, and this goose hits him right dead in the face. He's all messed up. Oh my God.
He had like a bloody nose, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like, can't believe it's not a goose instead of saying butter.
That appears on like one of them blooper shows. You know the
that's crazy. That was just crazy.
Nick, you don't know who Fabio is, do you?
It reminds me. The name rings.
He used to do this. I can't believe it's not butter commercial. He was famous for that. And his long blonde hair, he was just, I'm Fabio. I can't believe it's not butter.
Well, I remember him. He used to do he used to be the model for all the Mills and Boons.
Yeah.
He'd always have his white shirt and his long hair. And it was funny because they got him going on the roller coaster. He's all whooshing his hair around and everything.
Yep. Sits
on the roller coaster and his bird just flies right in his face, man.
Wham! It's like karma. He did something wrong. Something definitely went wrong somewhere. That goose had a number for him.
Oh man, I wish we were gonna mention that, because I would have pulled up the clip, because that stuff is just funny.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's real hilarious. But
it does pop up on English TV on the blooper clips.
Now, Nick, you got my contact information? Have you got an X account? You got an X account?
Yeah, I've got an X account. Yeah. Just shoot the information through hidden and all that. I'll find
it. Be sure to add me on X, and any questions you got or anything, man. If you need a clip, help yourself. But if you got any questions about any of the video, I'll give you the specific circumstance, all that. So let me know.
And that goes to you guys in the chat as well, because John is very approachable. So you can ask him questions and he will more than happily answer them for you. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah. I get right to it.
I don't want to talk to any of you MFs.
Yeah, the one category that he really didn't cover was all the flybys. The flybys are to me, they're the most important, because it's a huge ship coming into the atmosphere and going out. They've been turning ever since somebody called it a meteorite. And then I accidentally probably mumbled it or mentioned it in the yard. And I guess they must have heard what I said, because they've been turning and flipping ever since. None of them fly straight across anymore. They're all turning. So I got some that even do 90-degree turns.
Well, I gotta save some stuff for what's he called? Cosmic what? Not you, Nick.
Cosmic Road.
Is that in Cosmic Road? I gotta save some Cosmic Road, because then he won't be able to interview you. He'd say, "Well, you ready?"
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. I like Jack. Jack's getting ready to go get his. He's getting. They got a baby, and It's so funny. He sent me a message. He said, "John, I'm so sorry, man. I haven't answered your text or anything. It's just me and my wife took 3 hours trying to figure out how in the hell to put the baby seat in the car." And I said, "Dude, you're fine, man. You're okay. You're all right."
I know how awkward them things are.
They're a pain in the butt. You gotta pull out those instruction books and actually read some of those carriers, how to put them together, and then how they go around the seatbelt. Because hell, you can't figure it out other than that.
Here's the worst thing about us, because we don't own a car. So when my one was little and we had to go anywhere in the car, we had to put it in, take it out, put it in, take it. That's why we were so happy that when she got bigger, that all she needed was a booster seat. Because that you just throw in the back.
Yeah.
But anyways, man. Thank you so much for John for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. I appreciate it. Anytime you guys want me on, let me know.
Thank you. I'm sure you're coming back, and I hope this makes up for the 420 show that I had you
Oh
on.
no, it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. I got to watch you, and I thought he was going to collapse there at one moment, but he's all right. He pulled through like a trooper.
I kept to my word. I told you I'm not going to have a smoke for this show.
I'm like, man, he is heavy duty. Look at that. I'm thinking Cheech and Chong would have nothing on you. They don't be passed out on the side, be over there unconscious.
I hope they're listening, because I've been following Cheech and Chong from when I was a kid, man, and I would love to have a smoke with you. I would love.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Hey, for $9.99.99, I'm sure you can still do it.
Dude, I just don't want to pay that price. They should charge me. I'm not as famous as them. No,
I used to watch Grizzly Adams on TV. It was pretty popular back during the 70s, and you throw the axe and had the grizzly bear, and this Native American was his best buddy, and then you had the old timer, in the log cabin and stuff, and it was a good series to watch, especially back then. It wasn't much to watch, and I was looking at the internet about 20 years ago, and hell, for like $7.99, you could fly out to Wyoming or wherever the guy that played Grizzly Adams' farm was. You could go there in the ranch and eat dinner with the man, and I was like, holy crap! I could see my T-shirt. I ate dinner with Grizzly Adams, and nobody would know who the hell I was talking about.
Oh, they blaze, man. They blaze. Trust me. They still putting videos out of them blazing.
Oh yeah.
Them guys still blaze. They won't let the crew down. But anyways, so guys, all the links to Nick and John is in the description box. And you know who I am, and you know where I am. So, and guys, I'm sorry I have been quiet of late, but it's not because I'm not out there working. It's just because there's really not a lot to show you. So, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you guys for turning up. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Thank you, John Bell, again.
Thank you, John. I'm
telling you, look out for this guy.
Thank you guys too. Keep in touch, Nick. You better send me some contact and stuff. So I'm going to hold you to it, man.
I will. Don't worry.
Because I got to be able to get in contact with you. I can get in touch with him pretty good, but I don't have you on my contacts. So if anything, it's like every now and then I have a crazy video, and I try to share it with everybody. And instead of just posting it, I'd rather send it to you first in your box. That way you can look at it, and you'll see it before it ever gets out. So.
That's cool, man. Yeah, but I'll add you now, John. I'll add you now.
There it is. Corey Feldman. He's an awful guitar player. In fact, I saw a guy who is a guitar player, and he turned around and said, he's not even playing the guitar. Because he was saying like where his hands were and all that. He's not hitting the right chords for the note.
He's doing the Milli Vanilli thing.
Yeah, the mini. God bless him, though. God bless him. We grew up with Corey Feldman. But anyways, we're gonna say goodbye, and you know where to find us. Thank you guys for turning up, and just remember, we're living in a crazy upside down world. So remember, the change that we want is only going to come from us.
That's it.
Our governments are not going to do nothing because they are enjoying what's going on. This is what they want. We need to stop fighting each other and start embracing each other. And that's all I want to say. That's all I got to say on this. Okay. Decrease the hate, increase the love. And on that
that's note, all you can say. They'll come and pick you up if you say anything else.
Let him try. So
hey, they're watching you, man. You're gonna get in deep trouble.
They ain't watching me, man. I play nice. I play nice. But I will say, you can buy me. The moment you can buy me a couple of million, and I'll stop putting out the videos.
Yep, there you go.
Shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Because if something should happen to me and I'll stop putting out videos and say, yeah, he took the check. He took the check. But
yeah, I can't be bought.
Anyways, guys, we're going to say goodbye and we're going to end it how we started. So goodbye, all.
Take care, guys. All the best. Have a good night.
Thank you all. See you.